Class is in session, people. Take your seats. Today, what I'm going to talk about is all of the things that you need to be aware that you are doing when you make a YouTube video. All of the hats that you wear. Because it's not just, I'm a YouTuber, there are many different elements of that. And when you are not aware of that, it's easy to let some of those job duties go unfulfilled. So we gotta pick up our duties, okay? First of all, you are the writer. Even if you don't actually write a script for your videos or even an outline, maybe you just go extemporaneously, you're the person who creates the text that is spoken. Even if that creation is in the moment, impromptu, you're the writer. As a writer, you need to be aware of a few things, even if you're not actually writing things down, such as structure, how you are forming the ideas that you are then spitting out into the camera. You need to be aware of mood. How are you making the audience feel? Even dramatic stuff like being aware of how to create conflict and then resolve it at the end of a video is necessary. Even if I'm just making a video where I'm sitting down to tell you my thoughts on the latest camera that came out, there's sort of like a conflict. Is this a good camera? Should you get this camera? Ooh, there was another camera last year that came out that might be better than this one. I'm not sure. Oh, is this the best thing ever? So it's like, it's not a conflict like, you know, a Hamlet trying to avenge his father's death. But there is a sort of conflict. There's a question that needs to be answered. I'm stretching a bit, okay? But it works if you don't look at it too closely. Next, you are the director. The director takes the script and makes sure that the story of the script is told clearly. So when you are making a video, you're in charge of every element of it, making sure that it all comes together clearly to present one specific idea or story or whatever it is it's trying to come across in the script. The director takes the script, makes sure it's communicated clearly. That's perhaps the most important job you have. Next, you're also the designer. And there are many design elements that I think people aren't aware of because it's just like, I'm in my bedroom, which is true. But anytime you turn on a camera, you inevitably turn all of these things into design elements. This is just the shirt I've been wearing all day. But as soon as I turn on a camera, it becomes the costume design, right? People might say, Frank, you're looking into this way too much. It's just YouTube. No, like it matters what clothes you wear. Even if you didn't think about it, even if the people watching it don't consciously think about it, the clothes you wear make a difference. If I was watch this. How you like me now? Does this costume make you think a little bit differently about this video? It gives it a slightly different feel. It makes me feel a bit more, I don't know, professorial. Maybe I've got a little bit more ethos, you know, to convince you that what I'm saying has any merit whatsoever. Or what if I'm wearing this? How about now? But do you see how me thinking about it and changing stuff up gives you a different feeling? Maybe it's subtle, but it's there. Now that you're aware of it, that you are also a costume designer, you can make those choices consciously. Same thing, you're a set designer. All this stuff behind me, like that's the set, that's the mise en scène. That matters. Like look, if I just change up the framing of the shot a little bit, suddenly it's a lot different. I mean, I can get closer, but it's just, that's like 4 millimeter difference, right? Or what if I just turn the camera over here and I'm doing the thing like this? It's different. I mean, it's not necessarily worse, but it's a totally different feel than if we're back to this. So the stuff in the background, that's the set design. You're in charge of that. You're the lighting designer. All these lights, it matters. If I turn off this light, it's just bad lighting at that point. As a lighting designer, your most important thing is achieve visibility, right? But beyond that, you see that accent light back there? What happens if I turn it off? Suddenly it's just not as cool, right? And I know my hair's a mess. You're also the sound designer. Is there music? Are there sound effects? Is the volume appropriate? I mean, a lot of times these things are just utilitarian, but everything you do is a choice that makes an effect on the communication of the idea you had to the audience. Everything is design. And then you're also the actor. That's the most visible part of it. And the actor's job is to communicate what was written by the writer in a way that the director has envisioned, so that it is clear and that it is, if necessary, emotionally appropriate, I guess you could say. So as an actor, you need to learn how to speak clearly and articulately, which I am still working on. In many ways, what you need to do is just to start filming yourself over and over and over again and watching yourself back so that you become familiar with yourself. You're watching as the director, and then when you become the actor, you understand what the actor does and you can direct the actor a bit better. It's so weird. After being on YouTube for 3 years now and watching myself for hours and hours, I now understand like how my face works, and I understand what I look like when I move my face, which sounds weird, but when you're not on camera all the time, you don't actually understand what your face looks like when you think you're making certain faces. You think it looks one way, but it actually looks somewhat different. So you become familiar with the instrument as an actor. That's very important to know, to understand, so you can communicate not just with your voice, but also with your expressions. And you need to learn how to pump up the energy as an actor, and you need to learn how to get across things on an emotional level, not just an intellectual level. Of course, it all depends. If you're making a channel about how to fix your catalytic converter in your car, you probably don't need an emotional thing, but everyone appreciates some entertainment, so it's good to work on, at least being somewhat charming to keep people's attention. Oh crap, you're also the editor. You gotta figure out how to put this joint together, and editing is really where the story comes together. So your director brain and editor brain come together to tell it. Don't neglect the editing. And then you're also the frickin' PR team. Jeez, it never ends, does it? You gotta come up with the right title and thumbnail to pitch this to everyone, although that's a bit more obvious of a role that we all take on. The point of this video being, be aware of it, because even if you're not aware of it, you're doing the job. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time at the College of Tuber Studies.